Well, welcome to Martini Time. It's been a beautiful Saturday here in Blackstone, the center of the world. But then you're also the center of the world. But it's cooler now. And there's a lawnmower going. I've been able to mow the lawn without dying from the heat. And so let's talk about what's in the news. And of course, Harvey's in the news. So I entitled this talk, The Eye of Harvey. So let's take advantage of Harvey and use it as a metaphor to see into our own eye, to see into ourselves. That's what metaphors are for. They are reverse mirrors, so you can see yourself in the exterior. You see, the Harvey gets used, I'm sure the Jim Bakkers and the televangelists who are making hay on suffering will use Harvey, a natural disaster, as a metaphor to describe God's wrath. So so Harvey is God's wrath for the sins of Texas or man or whatever. So that gets played out whenever a natural disaster happens because it fits in with the metaphor or the mythology that God is angry. But we can use Harvey for a different metaphor. Instead of justifying God's anger, let's look at it as a metaphor of our anger, you see. So let's take a look then at Harvey as a metaphor. Now, what is a hurricane? We know what they look like. We see them on the TV. You look down on it. There's an eye with a vortex, and it develops over the warm water. You see. And it draws all the energy into it. Nothing is left out. Everything gets sucked in. It's like a big drain. You know the whirlpool in the drain? The eye is the drain. It's a black hole. The eye is empty. The eye is clear. If a hurricane ever passes over you, it's calm in the eye. You think it's gone. It missed us. No, the other side is coming over. Duck. So the eye is clear. There's nothing in it. It's the hub of a wheel. So when we get angry, when we get frustrated, when we develop a force, when we feel like a force, I'm angry, I have power, I'm resisting, I'm irritated, I'm confused, I'm bothered, all these these energies are forces. And we can feel them develop when we run into an objection, when somebody criticizes us on Facebook and says, oh, you're full of crap. The hurricane rises, Harvey rises, you see, and we feel strong with the force generating. You see, so we create this force, this vortex. And if the other force person develops his hurricane, whoa, now you get a feedback loop of two hurricanes, and it becomes one giant catastrophe, you see, which we might call an opinion war, or in society, an atomic war. During the Cold War, we had two hurricanes, two yin-yangs, communism, Russia, or American and Russia, going around and around. Tension building, and there was a great fear in the 50s that it would all end up in a big atomic war. There was no way out. You see. Fortunately, one side collapsed. Anyway, we're getting back to Harvey. So, the hurricane, the force of me. So I call Harvey is a metaphor for the force of me. And me arises when it meets resistance. But I like the hurricane. We like our anger. When the alt-right marches, what is that but an anger march? When we get into a fight with a spouse, with a neighbor. Right now my neighbor's mowing the lawn, and it's disturbing me. I should go out and yell, will you shut that off? I'm trying to talk here. Hurricane Ed. We love it. We like to feel the wind. We like to feel the force. I'm doing something when I'm angry. I'm doing something when I'm against something. When I'm pounding on something, I'm doing something, you see. You'll all feel me, you see. So where is the I when Hurricane Ed rises? Well, the I is trapped in the force. The I closes. The I is trapped in the force, you see. The force is the I. So how do we get out of the hurricane? Well, all the spiritual disciplines tell you how. Therapy tells you how. ACIM tells you how. When you feel the force of your hurricane rising, you say, wait, what's the truth here? Where's the ground? You see, because the truth is the ground. The hurricane builds on the warm water of the Gulf, Harvey does, but what's the warm water that our ego hurricane builds on? What's that warm water? What feeds it, you see? You could say it's, in India, it's called Maya, ignorance. The turning away from the ground, the turning away from the truth. So when I ask, wait a minute, what's the truth here? What's real here? I'm getting caught up in this hurricane. I've been here before. I know it's destructive force. I know all that's left is destruction and sorrow and guilt. Oh, I'm sorry. All that's left is destruction. Wait, what's the truth here? Pause. What's the ground? So when you say that, when you say, what's the ground here? You're not over the warm water of illusion, of ignorance now. You're standing on the ground. And guess what? The eye opens up. But it opens up above the hurricane. And you are like in a plane looking down, a satellite, looking down on your pattern. You're looking down on your personal hurricane, your anger. You're looking down on the pain. You're looking down on the vortex, the karma, the Groundhog Day. You're looking down on your whole life, the whole catastrophe, you see. The eye is now above the hurricane. And guess what? When you take the eye out of the hurricane, it collapses. When you take the hub out of the wheel, it collapses. When you take the center out of the vortex, out of the merry-go-round, it stops. So that center, that I, is your awareness that's been trapped in the forces of the little me, the little I, the little hurricane. Harvey. There was a movie, I have to go back and watch it. Jimmy Stewart with Harvey. He was an invisible rabbit. I think all I remember of it was he could see this rabbit and nobody else could. So if you look at the Google images, you see Jimmy Stewart with a big rabbit behind him. I'll have to go back and watch that. So anyway, the point here is that Harvey, as a metaphor of me, Je suis Harvey. So when you name your metaphor, when you give it a name, the next time your vortex arises, the next time you get caught in the double bind, the next time you get caught in the anger of your loss of power and your forces rise to assert your power, whenever you feel that rising up, you can say, oh, there's Harvey. Harvey's here. Let me look. Where's the ground? What's real? You may be sitting in your living room, peaceful, a lawnmower going outside. And suddenly something's on the TV and you get angry. And you want to throw something at the TV. Wait. Here's Harvey. What's going on here? It's just a peaceful living room, lawnmower going outside. Why am I so angry? Why is Harvey here? What's the truth? Why? What is this force that's giving me high blood pressure, diabetes, stress disorders? What is all this anger, all of this resistance, angst, despair, depression? And I'm sitting here in this calm living room. People talking in the background. Very peaceful. Lawnmower outside. Yet Harvey's raging inside, you see. Wait, what's the truth here? Where's the ground? And if we ask that question comes from the I that is no longer in the force. You have taken possession of your own I. You have taken your I back from being held hostage in the little me, in the karma. See, a hurricane is karma. It's just a pattern. And once it gets going, it can't stop. It's got to go until it works its way out and dissolves from exhaustion. Once the hurricane starts, it can't quit. It's like a roller coaster. You go to an amusement park and the coaster comes up and there's a sign, it's your karma, and it says, get in. You'll go for a ride. So you get in and you go for Mr. Toad's wild ride, and you hurt people and you get into fights and you lose stuff and things are destroyed, and you come back to the platform and you get out, you fall out. You fall out on the platform and say, what in the hell happened? I'll never do that again. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep doing this? And you vow never to do it again. But then you forget, because Harvey comes up again. Harvey in the roller coaster thing. Harvey comes up again. In a new clothes, in a new situation, with a new face, a new lawnmower, and says, get in. And you get in. Because it's not the old Harvey, it's a new Harvey. So hurricanes come back every year. We give them a new name, but it's the same hurricane. It's the same hurricane, same pattern, same seduction, same feeling of power and destruction. Seduction, you see. But it's not the old, it's a new one. We've never had this one before. I've never done this before. You see? But that's seduction of karma. It's the same pattern that comes back in a new form. So you buy into it again. You see? So you have to see the pattern. You say, wait a minute, this feels familiar. I've been on this ride before. I got on this roller coaster before. I got sick. I threw up. I'm not going to pay to do that again. So you don't get in it. But you don't get in it. You can only not get in it if you say, wait, what's the truth here? Where's the ground? What's real? What's unreal? What's fake? What's real? Pause. Ask. Because when you ask, you have to ask not knowing. If you know, you're going to get on that roller coaster. If you don't know, if you say, wait, what's the truth here? I really want to know. I want to see. That seeing is the eye of the hurricane. You pull it out and you see the whole pattern as if from above. And the hurricane collapses. The karma collapses. The roller coaster ride collapses. And the energy that went into supporting the karmic pattern is now free energy, is now awareness, joyous, creative energy. You have liberated your energy from the karmic trap of the repeating hurricanes. So name your hurricane. Give it a name. So the next time it comes, you feel its winds, you feel the anger, the irritation, you feel Bigfoot coming, you feel it coming, you see. Ah, here's Harvey. If I name you, you have no power over me, Harvey. You have no power if I name you. So name your hurricanes. See what happens. I'll see you tomorrow morning.